Hi, I'm Carol Blonder. Welcome to Networking Arizona. You know what I like about this show? It's all information. It's information for you viewers out there to see businesses, local businesses talk, and even show you a little bit about what they do. So get ready to jot some things down because they got lots of specials as well. And maybe it's you that wants something. Maybe you know someone that wants it. Tell them about it. That's what networking is all about. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
You know how important it is to warm up and stretch out your muscles before you begin running, jumping, and swinging a racket. Well, Muscle Honey is a blend of herbs designed to increase the blood flow, lymphatic flow, and flexibility of muscles so that you smoothly transition into activity. What's more, it contains pain-relieving herbs to help you push through boundaries and herbs to keep you from cramping up during periods of high output. It's not greasy or smelly, and if you rub it on all over, your muscles will be supple and pain-free for hours. Now that's a competitive edge.
I can't wait to bring on my first two guests. I have with me Sarah Quinn, and she's a nurse practitioner. Also Holly Mueller, who is a cosmetic nurse with Arcadia Wellness Center. Welcome to the show. I've worked with you guys before.
Thank you for
Thank you for
having
being here.
us.
You
Yes.
said today that you wanted to talk a little bit about aging processes with people and the trends and what's happening now. I'm one that needs it, so let's start talking right away. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Yeah, so we work at our Arcadia Wellness Center, and we are boutique medical practice. So we're really focusing on people from the inside out. Really, we see people of any age. You'd be surprised, even women and men as young as 30, what can be going on where they need optimization and enhancement. And so we really focus on finding, individuals and their specific needs and helping them, get to their goals.
Well, I'll tell you something. It's really important because, first of all, to say this, yes, it's men too. It's not just women anymore. Mm-hmm. And it's also younger people today more than ever. Mm-hmm. Talk about underneath the eyes. I know that's something that everybody, especially people of my age, that worry about. Let's talk about some of the treatments that you have.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So all of our cosmetic treatments are non-invasive, non-surgical, really little downtime. So under the eyes, that procedure is called tear trough correction, and there's a number of different ways that we approach it. So if anybody watching says, gosh, I really am putting on a lot of concealer under my eyes, or maybe it's a man and they're saying, I feel like I look tired throughout the day, what they do is they want to come in for a consultation. We offer a free consultation, and a lot of times we can place just a little bit of dermal filler, either in the lateral cheek plane or directly under the eyes, and it'll beautifully just refresh that area.
Oh my God, it sounds so perfect to be done. And I know you're offering a special that it's $200 to any of the procedures that we're talking about today.
Exactly.
Tell them about that.
Yeah, so along with the free consultation, $200 off any of the procedures that we discussed today. We just want to have wonderful results, and anyone who even just wants, has a question or isn't sure what they want done, but they want enhancement, we'd be happy to talk to them.
Absolutely. They do free consultations, and also you're doing this non-evasive, non-surgical, which there's a lot of people that don't want to go under the knife. Mm-hmm. Who's a great candidate for these?
It really varies. So if you're talking about any of our anti-aging treatments, we'll have patients come in their 20s. It could be something genetic where they just want a little bit of refreshment under the eyes. So men and women in their 20s will come in. We see a lot of women in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and older. I have some wonderful 70-year-old patients that say, I am not going down without a fight. So really,
I don't blame them.
It really runs the spectrum. That's why we say come in for a free consultation, non-invasive again, and a lot of these procedures are done in 30 minutes or less, and then you're back to work or you're out to lunch and you're just feeling like you got a little bit more of a refreshed look.
Wow. So talk about the gels, because that's something that I don't know about anybody else out there, but I know for me, I'm 60, I'm seeing more and more. What can you do for over here?
So so many options. With the joweling, that's just part of the aging process, but we also see it with fluctuations in weight. So there's a number of different non-invasive injectable procedures that we can do. The jawline is kind of like as popular as what lips or cheeks have been. So with that, we can dissolve a little bit of that excess tissue to just kind of give a better contour to the jawline. We also do some PDO threading in that area, and then dermal filler is also a great option just to kind of connect the jawline to the chin and give a nice contour.
Real quickly, what do you want to talk a little bit about the beauty side of what you do? Go ahead.
Just that our mission is to listen to patients, to present the most natural approach, and really make it a collaborative effort. What is it that bothers someone, and where can we get together? And really, our approach is as natural as possible, so that you look refreshed and enhanced versus like you had work done.
Well, who doesn't want to look better,
Right.
And especially when you're getting older, though we know that the younger people are all doing it too. You guys look great. This is more of a non-invasive, your non-surgical type of things. They do lots of things, and check out their special. They're located in Arcadia, and they're fabulous. For all you crafty people out there, I have with me Christina Weidmark, and she's the owner of Scraps of Love. This is a paper crafting store.
Correct.
So welcome. Did you tell everybody about your stores?
So I have two stores, one in Peoria and one in Sun City West. We feature items that are handmade with paper. So
They're awesome.
we have.
How did you get your start?
So I started as a home party consultant for a paper crafting company, and then worked in another retail location. They closed, and I had to open my own store.
That's awesome. That's a great story. So, okay, I want to talk about what you got here, because there's so many different ways that you could do stuff, and it's so cool.
We do have a lot of things. We offer wood projects for home decor, so paper here. We have dies that make frames. We have banners. We do classes with Bible journaling, mixed media. Cards is one of our most favorite items. Everybody needs to send a greeting card.
Absolutely. People don't usually do that anymore because they're using the internet and everything for
Yeah.
that. I love it. It's so much more personal.
It is. We do a lot of card classes because people love to send them, and they
Now,
love to make them.
You said that something happened when you opened that store in Sun City West. What happened?
So a customer came in to me because the store that was there was closing, and said, we really love having a store local to us. And so we went ahead and did it.
That's awesome. I wanted to also talk about the classes, because, it's one thing to try and do it, and it's another thing to learn how to do it as cool as all of this stuff is.
We have classes for all levels. So even the beginner can do any of our classes. We have really basic tools, scissors and glue, and all the other supplies are supplied for you in the class.
That's awesome. So, this stuff is super, super unique. Talk about how, what some of these, how do you make them 3D and all that kind of thing?
Well, there's fun foam that you can add behind things to make them 3D. We like to add embellishments, buttons, ribbon, a stamped image, colored. It's wonderful.
They look really fabulous, and they look like they'd be really hard to do, but they're really not. And you can learn them right at your classes.
We can. We have classes probably 3 to 4 times a week, and they're always different, always changing, all different skill levels. So.
And I understand that you've also won some awards.
We have. We were just named the best arts and crafts store in Phoenix Magazine's Best of the Valley.
You also mentioned to me before you came on that you do some live Facebook stuff every Sunday. What is that all about?
So every Sunday at 11:30, we do Facebook Live. We feature products that are new to the store that week, or we also do demonstrations of products, and just kind of gives you tips and techniques, and have a lot of fun.
So, okay, are the classes, when they do it, how do they find it? Do they go up online, or what do they do?
We have them posted on our website. You can sign up online, you can look at them, and we also have a gallery of past classes, so that if there's something that you saw that maybe you want to do, you can come in the store and we can help you recreate it.
Let me tell you something. They are so much fun to do, and I'm not necessarily the most crafty person, but I love doing it when I do it, And you also have a special that I know that you're doing, so you want to tell everybody a little bit about that?
So as a new customer coming into our store, just mention that you saw, and we have a special little goodie for you.
The little goodie bag. And you know what? I bet you it's got a lot of really cool stuff.
It does, always.
You know, here's the thing about all of this kind of stuff. It's so much more personal. When somebody sends out an invitation, I know we did something for my daughter's graduation or whatever it was. She wanted to do it a little different. Everybody called and had something to say about it. So when you're on this show, there's the holidays are around, you know, they're around the corner.
Yes.
When they come up and do something with you in your classes, is it something that they actually do take away and it's done, or how does it work?
Absolutely. So like this is a card that they would actually physically make in class, take home with them, and then they can either recreate it by buying the product that was used, or they can just send it as is.
So for the people that already also know out there about crafting and things like that, what would you say that you have out there that people don't know that they can get in your store? Because a lot of people are looking for special stuff.
Our product lines are always the newest and the latest. I have knowledgeable staff that can help answer any of your questions, help you design your project if needed. So
What's your favorite?
My favorite project?
Yes, what's your favorite thing to do?
Now, I'm going to say it is these wood projects with the home decor. This is a shadow box, and these all change out every month. You can change them out or each season.
It's so cute for, you know, this one looks like it'd be so cute for a little girl's room or even someone's office.
Yes.
So in terms of these things, you know, when you start getting involved, if these are kind of on the smaller side, but you can get into big, long projects too.
You can. We do scrapbooks so that you can do like a lot of, at graduation time, we have a lot of them that are come in, okay, I want to do the whole 12 years. And
I tried to do it from the day that they were, then of course life got in the way, which everybody knows that.
Yes.
But then you get to the point when you're ready to do it again. And I know I brought out some of the things I used to do, and I couldn't tell you how much I enjoyed it. Again, tell them where you're located.
So we're in Peoria on 97th and Peoria Avenues in Sun City West. We are off of Camino del Sol.
So yeah, and you know, here's what the thing is. Once you start doing it, you absolutely love it. I know the holidays are around the corner. This is a wonderful thing to do for, maybe you want to give out your Christmas gifts, the invitations this way, or just the Christmas cards. I love the shadow box. I know that when people do stuff like that, they love them when they get them as a gift. So there's all sorts of things that you can do. What would be your finals words today that you want to tell them?
If you are at any point interested in doing any paper crafts or making a personal gift, come see us.
Absolutely. But you have things. I also want to talk about the Bible really quickly. What is that?
So we do a monthly series where we do art in a Bible. So this is not your family Bible. This is a Bible made specifically for your art.
What does it mean, art in a Bible?
So like, you pick a verse that may be your favorite verse for that month or something that you want to work on that month, and then you decorate the page around the verse.
Isn't that neat? Now, again, all of these are classes that you offer are on your website. Do you have the classes in both of the stores, or how does it work?
We do have classes in both stores. The Peoria store has a much larger class calendar than the Sun City West store at this time, but it is growing.
So it's not just scrapbooking, it's so much more.
Oh, so much more.
Absolutely. And again, I would say to me, if I'm thinking about it, I'm looking at some of these things, look at the frame that you've got there, it's 3D. That's awesome.
And it's all made out of paper and stickers.
That's amazing. Paper and stickers?
Papers and stickers.
What about some of the different wood pieces that you have out in the front?
So we have, the company I order my wood from has several different monthly themes, so you can always change out and add to.
Well, that's so neat. I really love them. And again, we've got that little woman sitting at the front. I don't know if it looks like, I don't know what it is in the front that you've got there.
So we have,
who is she?
That's clay art. So we do classes with, it's an air dry porcelain clay.
I'm glad I brought it up. What's clay art?
It's an air dry porcelain clay that you literally mold everything with your hands.
Well, I got to tell you something. If you're into craft, this is a place to go. She has things that you wouldn't even know that you could get. They're classes. You could check her out on her website. It's absolutely fun. Guest is Doc. He's the owner of Hypnotic One. I've known him for over 7 years. I've worked with him for years on my radio show. You're now coming on television, and you're helping a lot of people out there in television land. Welcome to the show. You got to tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Well, I'm a certified hypnotherapist. I don't do stage work or anything like that. I hypnotize people to help them achieve their goals. Otherwise, they may get rid of pain. They may achieve a new habit in their life of having better communication. They may be healthier, happier, and even wealthier.
Absolutely. There are so many different things that you can do, but one thing I want them to understand is what makes you different than any other certified, or other hypnotists that are out there.
There's thousands of hypnotists around, but most of them don't know how to do the things once they get you in a trance. Anybody can put you in a trance, but it's what you do with the person once you get them there so that they automatically start following your suggestions after they're out of the trance. And that's what I do. That's what I specialize in. When I was young and starting out in this 30-some years ago, I worked in a hospital. The first week we did 30 baby deliveries.
That's amazing.
The second week we did 12 operations with no anesthetic whatsoever. So if you can do that, I mean, breaking the smoking habit, breaking alcoholism, breaking a drug habit, breaking this negative depression that people have so much is kind of simple. And the other really one that is underlying for most of my clients is they have bad sleep habits. How do you feel good if you're tired all the time? How do you get in good health and good shape if you're tired? And sleep is the most natural thing that people have to do. You're naturally sleepy when you've been up long enough. But some people, when they go to bed, they just can't sleep. So we put them into a nice, beautiful, restful, recuperative trance, and they go from that into a natural sleep.
Well, I'll tell you something. A lot of people don't even know that they can be. They say, oh, I can never be hypnotized.
That's because they think hypnosis is what they saw on television, where that the hypnotist takes control of their mind. No, actually the hypnotist does the opposite. You're actually hypnotizing yourself with his help, and you're accepting every one of the suggestions he gives you. If the suggestion goes against your moral character, you will not accept it. But if it's with your character and what you want to happen, all of a sudden you start accepting it. Every time you hear it, it becomes simpler and easier and more powerful.
Well, what I love what you do is you also give everybody this free 30 to 60-minute consultation that comes along with that CD. I think you really get in there to really get them to understand what it is that they're doing, but they get to come home and also are doing it for themselves.
That's it. It's when you come in for that first, it's really about a 60-minute consultation. I explain what hypnosis is, what it's not, what I can do and what I can't do, and what hypnosis can do and what it can't do. So that you don't have the idea that I'm going to take a magic wand, you're going to go to sleep for 10 minutes, and you're going to walk out 30 pounds lighter. That's not going to happen. And people say, well, how does it work on your weight loss? Well, it doesn't take the weight off you, but all of a sudden you're not eating as much. All of a sudden you're eating different foods. And all of a sudden maybe you're walking a little bit farther. Maybe it's only 100 feet farther. But you automatically start moving more and start being happier. Your sleep is much better, so your metabolic rate is much higher. So you start burning off the calories.
You won't let them fail. What do you mean by that?
How can you fail when you got a coach and a trainer with you all the time? And that's it. We custom build every program for the person. There's no two programs out there identical. I don't care if it's 100 weight loss people or 100 smokers. I start them out on the same one, but after that first session, then we custom build it for that person.
And you say it's a lifetime guarantee.
It's a lifetime guarantee because I'm the only person out there doing it that way. Most people charge per sessions. I don't. Most people, when you're done, you're done. If you have to come back, you pay more money. I don't do that. What attorney, what doctor charge you one time and you're done for life? Otherwise, if maybe that weight starts to come back on in a couple years, give me a call. And you always say, how much is a tune-up or how much is another session? It's free. Get back in here.
You know what else I love that you talk about too? When people have addictions and things like that, you don't take anything away from them.
That's why they don't have any withdrawals. There is no withdrawals with cigarette smoking, with sugar, and sugar is the biggest addiction there is. So there is no withdrawals. Even methadone, even coke, even heroin. Because we don't take anything away from them. All of a sudden, after they're hypnotized and they're going through this trance every night, they're listening to a CD, and all of a sudden, they start looking into the future instead of looking into the past, and they start seeing the benefits of being away from that. And they find out they really don't need the drug.
Well, I know that you brought somebody else with you as well, and so I want to talk a little bit about who that is.
His name is Jeff Slutsky. He is one of the most dynamic marketers and speakers out there. I have known him for over 40 years. He was in karate school with me, and he's a black belt in karate. He's getting ready to go for his 5th degree black belt. But that's not his really fame to the world. The thing is he markets, he niche markets. He gets people to take and be out there where they wasn't before. He's worked for major companies like, I don't know if I can say them, but Pepsi, Coke. He's worked for a lot of major companies for him to go on and motivate their employees.
Well, you told me before he even came on that, not here today, is that you helped him, he helped you.
Yeah, the thing is he was one of my partners in one of my nightclubs, and he was only 19 or 20 years old at that time. But the thing is he helped me market. He showed me a lot about marketing. And what he does to marketing, I do to hypnosis, because I tell a lot of people when I use hypnosis on them, I says, I'm selling you something. I'm selling your mind something. Actually, I'm presenting it to you. And you've got to present it to the other part of your mind so that you automatically get it. Jeff is one of the greatest motivators there is out there. You know, you've heard of Tony Robbins and you've heard of all these great people, but he makes it fun. He makes it exciting. He is a published author. He's got probably about 20 books on marketing. And he first started out Street Fighter marketing. And I'm going to let him tell you about it. But the thing is he looks at everything like I do, a little bit different. Otherwise, it's just not spending money on advertising. He has you do some creative things to automatically bring people into your business.
Well, it's kind of cool because, first of all, you do that motivating people as well. And so, like you said, you also helped him. So, and you must have learned a little bit from him too.
Oh, a
because
bunch.
when you motivate, you can motivate business people out there. Tell them what you can do with that.
That's it. Health, wealth, and happiness is what I help people to achieve, whether it's in your business, your personal life, or whether it's in your relationships. Because if you're not healthy and wealthy and happy, life isn't that much fun. And we want to make life fun because as far as I know, we only have one time here on the planet Earth. And let's have as much fun and productivity as possible. So let's start doing that, and let's introduce Jeff.
And we will be introducing him. I can't wait to have him on. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit further about you, just to find out what you want to tell the folks out there about what you do before we get them on.
I help people achieve their goals. And if they don't have a goal, I help them set their goal. Because when I ask people, I says, what do you want? I don't know. That's the biggest stopper right there. That's right next to procrastination. So the thing is, a lot of people are afraid to fail, so they don't do anything, which guarantees their failure. So I build a roadmap to take them from where they're at to where they want to go.
Well, it's cool because what we're talking about with Jeff, too, kind of correlates with what you're talking about. People out there, we are all procrastinators. People out there that just can't, get motivated. Business people out there that are dealing with issues.
The business people know what they need to do, but they're just afraid to do it. And by the time they get the courage to do it, they've missed the boat. And so the thing is that's what Jeff does to it. He gets them motivated to do it, and that's what I do. I get business people motivated to do that because they already know it. I get golfers to be a better golfer. I put them in the zone. I get people that of all kinds of athletics to put them in the zone so that they become a better athlete.
Who doesn't want to be in the zone at all times?
That's it.
The other thing that I wanted to also talk about when you said that people, there's a lot of people out there that are afraid of public speaking. Can you do that?
I've had so many people come in to me and says, I'm just afraid of speaking in public. I says,
Most people are.
Well, the thing is, that's the number one fear in the United States, is people speaking in public. I says, if you're not speaking in public, you're talking to yourself. And it's much easier to talk to 100 people, really, than it is to one person. Because if one person disagrees with you, you got 100% against you. But if one person out of 100 disagree, you only got 1%. And the thing is if you get 100 people in a room or 1,000 people, doesn't matter, all of a sudden they're there to hear what you have to say. They're listening because they want information. They want a way to be more successful in their life.
I say this every single time you're on my show, whether it's this show, whether it's the radio show.
Are we have to get out of that boat again?
We're getting out of the boat. If you want to walk on water, you got to get out of the boat. That's why it's important that we also talk about stuff like this, because people think hypnosis, and this is where we're going to tie this in, is just about losing weight, drug loss, or why I said drug loss. But here's the thing. People out there don't realize that hypnosis is for many things. You could use it for your business. You can use it to motivate yourself, to learn how to speak better.
How about using it for your kids and your relationships? You tell your kid what not to do. If he runs out the door and slams the door every day, you tell him don't slam the door. But you didn't tell him what to do. Shut the door gently, shut it easily. But most people, well, they'll keep saying the same thing over and over again, expect Johnny to shut that door gently, and when he doesn't, they punish him. Why would you punish a kid because you didn't know how to tell him what to do? And we start.
I don't know, I do it all the time to mine.
And the thing is you've got a child up here in your mind. You have got to be able to talk to that child the same way you do it to a 4-year-old.
Well, let's have Jeff come on. I'm really excited about that. We'll be back in just a minute. Welcome back. We're really excited about having Jeff Slutsky here. You are a keynote speaker, mostly on marketing. Doc's been talking a lot about you. Let's talk a little bit about yourself and what you want to talk about today.
Well, I'm, like you said, a keynote speaker, seminar leader in the area of marketing, but it's a very specialized type of marketing. How to market, promote, and increase your sales on a local level without spending hardly any money. And we call that street fighter marketing.
Wow, that's cool. How can you do that? I'm interested myself. Go ahead.
Well, we teach people how to network and how to look for opportunities that don't cost a lot of money to promote, where somebody else is getting just as much value from the relationship as you are. Then we show them how to use that kind of relationship to generate actual sales or people in the front door.
So how do you work with people? Can you work with anyone from anywhere, or how does it work?
Well, primarily, I'm either doing a speech at their annual convention, so it could be for a major trade show or a big franchise group. And then sometimes I'll come in and do a long-term project for a fairly big company where I come in and actually teach them how to do it one-on-one, and that becomes a basis for a program which they incorporate into their training program.
Now, do you have special programs like that you teach them?
Yes.
So what are they?
Well, one's called Marketing Without Money, Sales Made Super Simple, and then I have another one where we use the basic concepts of sales and marketing, the precepts that make those things effective, and apply it to all forms of just standard communication. So it could be for any type of audience.
Well, what kind of businesses do you work with? Do they have to be large companies, or what kind of businesses can utilize your services?
Well, usually it's big companies that have a lot of small locations. So it could be a franchise group where there are a lot of small individual companies, but there's a main company sort of in charge of it so they can duplicate it. Or, like I said, a trade association where everybody comes in for their annual convention. So they're all small independent businesses, but I work at their convention to teach them how to do these things.
Now, you have a website.
I do.
So what is that?
It's www.streetfightermarketing.com.
Okay. And so when people go up there, they're going to see, you've been doing this for a long time. I've known you've got some books there that you've written too. So what are they going to see there on that website?
Well, they'll see my demo video, so it'll show excerpts of me doing a program that I did last year with some other shorter excerpts, so they can see my style of speaking. So when I'm teaching people, not only do I want to give them information they can take back immediately, but we try to have a lot of fun in the talk, use a little humor, so they'll remember that.
Let's talk about some of those books that you got here. We only
Sure.
have a little bit more than a minute to go.
Okay. This is one of the newer ones called Smart Selling. And here's another sister book called Smart Marketing. Both are on Amazon.com, so they can get them there. And this is the original, Street Fighter Marketing Solutions, which was published by Simon & Schuster.
Doc, you got to talk about how you've been working with him too.
Well, Jeff and I have been friends ever since we was in karate together back in the early 70s. And the thing is he showed me a lot about marketing, and his way of thought, you're not going to learn in a book, except his books, because everybody wants to spend a lot of your money. He doesn't. He goes out in niche markets. He finds out. Just like this morning he was telling me that he worked with, I think it was about 40 or 50 restaurants in this one restaurant chain, and he got their gross up 5%.
Even restaurants need to have people sell. They're selling the food.
And every restaurateur out there, because I've owned restaurants too, 5% means a lot, especially when you're doing $1 million. Yeah, 5%'s a lot.
You know what I love about this segment today? It shows that there's a lot of people out there, they all want to know how they're going to get better. So your services, Jeff, are awesome. You can offer them tips and tools of how to do that. But what Doc does is he kind of brings in the side of it of people that are, they just don't, they can't get over, they can't get through that barrier, and it sort of helps together.
And it really does. And Jeff does a lot of the same things I do. He just doesn't use the hypnosis. He doesn't do the therapy. He does have a lot of fun. I mean, and I do too at my therapies. But the
But
thing,
my speeches do put him to sleep, so it's
well, yeah. So the thing is you have to know what you want.
I'll tell you something, you do have to know what you want. Check him out. He might be able to help. This is going to be real cool, so listen up. I have with me Joey Bellis, and he's the owner of Higher Frequency Coaching. You've got to tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what it is that you do.
So I am a personal trainer / meditation personal development coach.
Okay, and what does that mean? You know, a personal development coach and / trainer. So what does that mean?
Just helping people to understand who they are. You know, what are they doing here on this earth? What are they passionate about? What do they love? What inspires them? How do they connect to people? How do they listen to people? How do they speak to people? How do they treat themselves? And so it started off as training, because the body, right, mind, body, spirit. And then as I started working with people, I've been training people now for 14 years, just different things kept happening. I'm like, oh, like all of these emotional issues that they carry, all these psychological issues, they just started pouring out on the workout floor.
It always happens. People get closest with their trainer.
Yeah, and then, you know, that led me on my own path of personal development. When I was 26, you know, I had a really low place in my life and I couldn't figure it out. And that just sent me on a path of learning about myself and, you know, treating myself differently, which led me to treat other people differently. And so then it just organically happened that people started reaching out to me and, hey, can you teach me about meditation? Can you teach me about this stuff? And I was like, sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like absolutely. So
Share the love.
Yeah. So now it's just totally taken on a life of its own, and I'm just one step at a time seeing where this thing goes.
You got to talk about what you got here. First of all, before we get going, I want to talk about your logo and what that really means. It's pretty interesting.
Thank you. So yes, this is my logo. Long story short, it's about transcending to become something greater than you are. To believe in yourself in a way that is going to uplift other people. And we're all going to encounter suffering and fear. But if you can find meaning in that, you're going to transcend into something greater than what you are.
Absolutely. I really believe in that. Higher Frequency Coaching, this is a journal. And I know before you came on, when I talked to you the other day, you said, I really want to bring my journal and I want to talk about it. So let's talk about it.
Yes. The reason I wanted to create a journal was because I think reading and writing is the key to unlock what's inside. And so many times we look for something else. You tell me, you show me, versus if you learn to look and listen and feel what's inside, it's going to come out. And it's a way to organize your life, organize your thoughts, organize your sleeping patterns, so you can look and see what roadblocks are in my life. Why are they there? Study them and begin to remove them.
I love it. I love it. So now, do you obviously journal every day?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have collections of journals, and that's why I wanted to, you know, create a journal. Because so many people are like, you know, how did you become who you are? And I always tell them, I wasn't always this way. I wasn't like this. The person you're meeting today was not the person I was when I was 26.
Well, let's talk about the person that was and now is. What were you?
I was an addict, I was addicted, I was depressed, I was angry, I was resentful, bitter, judgmental, harsh, manipulative, a coward. And just like working on myself has totally unlocked these things inside of me that other people saw the whole time, but I didn't. And it wasn't until I sat down and started to write and read and listen, I started to unlock these things inside of me.
Talk about the meditation and what you do.
So my meditation practices are a way for me to honor my ancestors, honor my teachers that have taught me, honor my mentors. You know, from different retreats that I've gone to, different courses, practicing fasting, sitting in sweat lodge, I've learned a lot. And so when I bring my medicine, it's a way to honor my ancestors and my teachers, from the feathers to the mopacho, to the sage, to my mother, to my grandmother, to Peru. Everything that has brought significant meaning in my life, I bring to meditation and teach people that meditation is part of your life. And there's meditation everywhere if you slow down, you look, you listen, and you feel.
Now, when you are doing your meditation, do you use all of these things at one time within that, or how does it work?
I do have certain things that I do each time, like I'll always sage the room, I'll always do a tobacco blessing, I'll always use the fan, but then it depends on the people in the room and what they're going through. What do they need tonight? Do they need to feel listened to? Do they need to feel connected to? Do they need to listen and be still?
When you're working with people, can you work with anyone from anywhere? Because it sounds like you don't just do one-on-one, but you actually work with groups of people too.
Yeah. So I do both. I do one-on-one, and then I do group.
And how do you do that when you're working with people?
In a group setting, I really like a group setting because it forces people to be vulnerable in a group, and that's very scary for us to be vulnerable. And then when it's one-on-one, it's a lot, not only vulnerable, but it's intimate. And that's where you can go deep into whatever it is you want to work on.
Now, higher frequency. Why higher frequency?
Higher frequency, love or fear. So the more that you are vibrating on a frequency of love, that's when you feel inspired and compassionate and forgiving and kindness and beautiful. And when you're vibrating on a frequency of fear, that's when you're harsh and judgmental and angry and bitter. And so it's not love like a romantic love, it's like just a love of life.
Okay, talking about frequency, okay, it's huge. It's hard for people sometimes to meditate. Do you help them learn how to do that?
Yeah. So it's really interesting, right? I'm doing meditation and I'm wearing a tank top, and basketball shorts.
Yeah,
and,
you don't look like the typical guy that would be doing that.
And there's so many stereotypes when it comes to meditation. I have to look like this, I have to dress like this, I gotta have a beard, I gotta wear all white, and that's scary to people. That's not what meditation is about. Meditation is about listening here, inside, and taking it out into the world. It's not about a pose, it's not about a posture, and that's why I wanted to start the classes, to show people, like, hey, anyone can meditate. You don't have to look like this, you don't have to act like this, you don't have to speak like this. You find meditation. And so for me, I just show people what I've learned. Take whatever it is that you want and create your own.
You know, every single morning, I take about an hour and a half, maybe more, and I write. And I'm not the kind of person that would meditate, but I've realized after the 3 years that I've been writing every morning that I too am meditating, but in my own way.
Yes.
Do you feel that's the same?
Absolutely. And it's so beautiful that you do that. And that is a form of meditation. And then you find what works for you. And so my classes, or when I do one-on-one, it's here are the tools that I've used. And I hope that you find your tools to go inside and self-study.
Absolutely. When you're working with people, do you have your classes, do you have them listed on your website, or do people just kind of talk to you? Because you seem like that kind of guy, well, hey, why don't you join in? How does it work?
Yeah, so I like when people contact me because I do different classes at different places. I travel around and I do it. So I would like to speak to them and then say, hey, I can teach this Monday, or you can come to Sunday class or a Wednesday night class. And then depending on where I'm at, I can kind of direct them from there.
Do you only do this now, or do you still do both?
I still do both, and people have asked me that, and I say, the human body is so special, and for people to learn how to control it and push it and how to feed it, that's the baseline for what's inside.
It starts
So,
from within,
yes.
and then of course you got to take care of your
Yeah,
body.
yeah.
And you know something, if I can do this, and I love it when I do it, you can too. You got to check him out on his website. This is really cool.
Thank you.
If you pull a muscle or twist an ankle or damage a shoulder or elbow, it can put you out for weeks or more. You can't afford to miss that much time. Bruise, Strain, and Tear Repair is an herbal gel that absorbs through your skin to promote healing of tendons and ligaments and soft tissue damage. It relieves pain, improves flow to the region, and increases the rate at which reparative tissue is being made. It even works on old injuries and will keep the repair going as long as you keep applying it. No athlete should be without this stuff.
We're going to talk about healthy living and wellness. Hi, Pat. You've got a demonstration there that you're going to be doing. Let's start it right away so we can talk about the product and what it is that you do.
All right. This is nothing more than a digestive enzyme. And what it is it's vegan-based, non-GMO. And what this pudding represents is cooked and processed foods, which most of us do eat. And this enzyme is going to break down this pudding, and just by stirring it, it just replicates the stomach and what it's doing in itself.
So most people eat pretty much heavy foods and things like that, and this will actually break it down. And
Yes.
it's something you said you had an issue that was going on, and how did it work with you?
I was starting to get stiff joints, gout in my toe. When I started taking this plant enzyme a year ago, all of that went away from me, and all that meant was the onset of arthritis, and all that is a buildup of uric acid. And if you were to take a
Sample of your blood.
sample of my blood, it would have looked like crystallized glass. So you can see it hasn't even been a minute, and it has broken down this food.
When you take it, do you take it with every meal or just once in a while?
You take it with every meal, before each meal.
So, okay, and I understand that you're also in this magazine here.
We were just in this magazine just this month, and we are the 321 fastest growing companies out of 500. Documentation is proof.
I'll tell you something, it is all about your digestive health. You say it's non-GMO, even the capsule as well. Go ahead.
Yes, everything that we have is plant-based, non-GMO, and it's made right here in the United States.
So do you take all of those products, or what is it that you take and suggest for everybody?
I take the multivitamin, which has nutrients in it. I also take the Vibe, which helps increase my energy and blood flow. And I also do, of course, the digestive enzyme. If I'm doing a large meal, I take 2. If I just do a regular meal, I'll take 1.
How fast did you see a turnaround on what you felt like?
In 4 days.
In 4 days? That's incredible. How long have you been taking it? And do you have a giveaway that you're doing?
I do have a giveaway. The first person to email me and mention seeing me on this show will get a free bottle of Life.
I'll tell you something, everybody wants to feel better. It starts, we're all eating heavy, we all eat all sorts of processed foods, and this is something that actually brings it down right away. We've been talking about healthy living, let's all get healthy. Well, from health to hospice, I'd like to welcome Dr. Jacqueline Bell-Jones. She's a volunteer coordinator of Hospice of the West. Also, she has with her Dolly Kennedy, who's an ambassador volunteer. Listen up, everyone, because people might want to get involved. Dolly, talk about the program and what it is and how people can get involved.
It's very easy to get involved. Actually, my first career was as a nurse. So this was easy for me to decide this is what I wanted to do at this stage of my life. And being a volunteer for Hospice of the West is so easy. You do not have to commit to any huge number of hours. You can do it for as little as 1 hour a month. So who doesn't have that much time?
Right. Now, you mentioned that you started it with late in your life. There's a lot of people that have a little extra time on their hands.
Right.
Doctor, please talk about the program and what you're looking for.
We're looking for those who are courageous of heart, who want to care and uplift and sit by the bedside of those who most need them. So volunteers are part of a circle of care. They're interdisciplinary team, and so volunteers are very much a part of everything that's going on. So we have volunteers who volunteer for administrative part and for patients as well. So this is federally mandated by Medicare that we do this, involve our volunteers.
Dolly, it's a wonderful program, it really is. Dolly, talk about how you feel when you work with some of the patients that you work with. What does it make you feel like?
Oh my gosh. I feel humbled, grateful, so grateful, and to think that maybe I can contribute a little bit to someone else's happiness.
So if maybe somebody's out there that's thinking about that, maybe they'd like to get involved, you might have some time on your hand. You can do it as little or as long as you want to do,
Right.
Yes.
and you can go with any area of it. Real
Yes.
quickly, how does the process work? What do they do?
The process begins, you can go online and look for hospiceofthewest.com, and we have a volunteer portal. You can go in and put your name in. We have all different ways to volunteer. So we have music volunteers, pet therapy volunteers, patient volunteers, administrative volunteers. So we have your name and your email. We'll contact you, or you can call us. And we have training. So the training is about 16 hours, and you come to Hospice of the West. We have a wonderful training. So part of the training is classroom, and the other part is shadowing our interdisciplinary team.
A lot of people out there, they have it in their heart, and that's what they want to do. And there's
Yes.
nothing like helping people like that. They absolutely love it when you do it. Welcome to Networking Arizona. I'm Carol Blonder, and I'm really excited about bringing on my first guest, who is Elisa Kurselik, and she is the Vice President of Mountain View Funeral Home and Cemetery. Welcome to the show. You have been on my radio show many, many times, and I want you to tell everybody, obviously, a little bit about what you do and why you're here today.
Great. Well, first of all, Carol, thank you so much for inviting me on the show. It's always a pleasure to spend time with you, and it's great to be here today. What Mountain View Funeral Home and Cemetery is an organization that provides services to families, whether they're choosing burial, cremation, whether they need guidance on pre-planning, if somebody has passed away. We have 3 locations in the East Valley. We're located in Mesa, we are located in Apache Junction, and down in Queen Creek, and we're growing. We're looking at a location in Gilbert.
Oh my gosh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, that's new news, so we're very excited about that.
But you also do pre-planning. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Okay, so I just turned 50, so I'm kind of excited to have had a birthday, and I've had my pre-plans in place for 10 years. The reason I did that is because I do a lot of educating to people on what they should do. And tell you nothing but the truth, I got called out by an audience, and they said, well, do you have your plans in place? And at that time, I hadn't. And I took a closer look at why do we pre-plan, and no matter what age you are, death can fall upon any of us. It takes no holidays, doesn't take weekends off. It happens when it happens. And so the ability to have those thoughts of what's important to you in place ahead of time so that you're not leaving those questions unanswered for your relatives for the rest of their life. Is this what my mom would have wanted? And more importantly, do we do the right thing?
Sure.
When you make your known wishes to your family and friends, it allows them the chance to grieve, to come together and celebrate your life instead of being tormented by decisions that they may or may not have made correctly.
Well, I know I have mine done. I got it through you.
Yes, you do.
And what it gives you is peace of mind. Let's talk a little bit about what that is, because obviously it's not for me, it's for your loved ones.
Sadly, I just recently lost my brother, and it's been tough, and I know you and I have talked about that. When you go through this process, you start to look at your own mortality, and you start to look at what would I want my message to be left behind? My brother was very young. He was 42 years old, and it was very unexpected. I carry his pendant.
I love that.
Isn't that beautiful? It's a picture of him and I. But we really, really went through a lot of decision making in a very small amount of time. And the irony is, he was very proud of me that my husband and I had our plans in place, and he was at my home shortly, days actually, before he passed. And he says, you know, sis, I should probably get my arrangements done. And I said, you should. We had a conversation that day about what he would want. I knew he wanted to be cremated. I knew he wanted his cremated remains to go to the VA cemetery. But that was all we had in place. We really hadn't sat down and put thoughts to paper. And it was a tough time, as you know, with
my brother just died too, very, very unexpectedly.
Yes.
So I know exactly what you mean. And he had young children, so that makes it even harder.
Yeah.
And it is a difficult topic for people to talk about. So how do you help people with that? And I know we have such a short amount of time here today, but just kind of help them out through it, because everybody's going to go through it.
That's right. And I don't like to use the term light humor lightly, if that's a little contradiction in terms, but sometimes people deal with uncomfortableness in a way where they can maybe laugh a little bit, or, well, this is what I want, or when I die, I want to be spread here and there. And we allow them the opportunity to give us the message. And we listen, and we take notes, and we let them drive the conversation. Sometimes it's very serious, sometimes it's a little bit, like I said, a little bit more lighthearted. But unfortunately, those awkward conversations are much easier to have now before somebody passes away.
It's too late.
That's right. That's
what would
right.
be your message for today?
So the thought I want everybody to take away from today is, of course, I think Mountain View Funeral Home and Cemetery is the greatest place in the East Valley, but whatever place you choose, whatever direction you go, whether it's burial or cremation, my message today is do something.
Do something.
This is the best gift you can leave your family, your kids. Do it for them. Do it today. Don't wait. Because tomorrow may never come.
It's very important, and it's not for you, it's for everybody else. We're now going to learn a comfortable alternative to CPAP. Wearing them are uncomfortable. So I have with me Dr. Gary Corr, and he is the owner of Corr Sleep Solutions. Tell everybody a little bit about, first, what is it in the first place?
Sleep apnea is when you stop breathing. So what happens is your tongue goes back, obstructs your airways when you snore. So you wake up irritable, headaches, daytime tiredness is the big factor. 800,000 accidents in 2000 were directly related to daytime tiredness with obstructive sleep apnea.
A lot of people even said you saved some marriages because of some of it. The people can't stand them. They're uncomfortable. I hear they get pretty dirty. What is your alternative that you have?
My alternative is we have an appliance that fits in the mouth. It's comfortable, it's easy to clean, it's portable. I have one myself. I wore one last 5 years. Sit. So I could talk with it if I wanted.
So you can talk with it. You have helped over 3,000 patients, you told me, and it's very simple. They don't have to clean it. They can carry it anywhere. They don't have to bring water with them or anything like that. It's that simple?
It is. It opens the airway by bringing the jaw forward. The jaw brings the tongue with it. The tongue doesn't go back and obstructs your airway.
Doctor, when they come in, what's the procedure? What do they need to do?
Well, first of all, we're giving a free sleep test, which is valued at $450 for the first 10 callers. And that'll show us how many times you stop breathing, your oxygen level, your heart rate, and tells everything.
And so that'll tell you exactly whether you have it or not, and then if you do,
also.
And your levels of it. So, and then if you do, you can go right into the doctor's office, and he can take care. How fast can they get these?
It takes about a week to make it. We go through medical insurance, where providers on most major medical and Medicare.
I'll tell you something. I tell you, most people don't want to wear one of those. If you have it, you want to find out, he's offering so that you can do a sleep test, and then you can find out whether you have it, what your levels are of it, and then within a week, he'll make it for you, and you can take it anywhere. It's awesome. Most people should just definitely want something like this. Don't you think, Doctor?
Exactly. I've been a sleep apnea for almost 10 years. I was at a sleep conference. I got diagnosed with sleep apnea. And my choice was CPAP or an oral appliance. I decided oral appliance.
What a great alternative. So maybe you or maybe someone you know has something like this. That's what I love about this show. If it's not you, tell him about it. Check it out on his website. We have Doc. He's back with us again. He's the owner of Hypnotic One. Doc, I loved having Jeff on the show with us today, talking about marketing and motivating people, and that's what you do too.
And that's the thing is, if you're not motivated, you're not going to achieve anything. And that's why it's so neat to be around Jeff and people like him, because he's always motivated. Even when he's down, I've seen when he's been down, and he's still funny, and he still picks you up. And that's, you know what, that's what I like to do. I like to make therapy fun. I like to help people have enjoyment out of their life, have more health, wealth, and happiness. Why not? Have better communications. Have all these things that you've just thought about doing. Now you're going to do them.
Tell them what this brain is up there.
Oh, this is an electrochemical organic computer, and it gets a virus in at different times. We got to get that virus out, the one that says, hey, I'll do it tomorrow. Or, no, 20 pounds overweight, that's not too bad. Or, no, I can't do that. Let's get that virus out and say, yeah, I can do that, and I'm doing it right now. We're not a wannabe or will be. We are. We are doing it, and we're moving forward.
Well, what I think is people think that it's all only for weight loss, for stop smoking, but it's so much more.
This chemical computer up here, we've got to start programming for what we do want. Otherwise, do we want more happiness? Do we want better respect? Do we want better health? Do we want, yes, and we all do. And we have to get off that couch. We have to start doing the things and getting out of that depression. I've found more people depressed and failure to sleep really good than anything else. A lot of times that's the underlying cause of a lot of people's problems. And what I do is hypnotize them, find out when it was put in there, who put it in there, and we program that so it's gone.
I think it's fear.
A lot of it is fear. Fear of success and a fear of failure. Fear of failure keeps people procrastinating. Fear of success does the same thing.
Tell them you have a 98% success rate
do.
and you won't let them fail.
How can you fail when you got a coach and a trainer helping you overcome every one of your obstacles? Every professional athlete out there has a couple, 3 coaches. He has a mental coach, he has a physical coach, and he has that for that game coach. So the thing is, that's what I do. I'm your coach in every area of that life because I've seen every problem there is out there. You can't come up with a new one. If you do, I really want to see you.
I'll tell you something, Doc, you've helped so many people out there on the radio with me for over 7 years, but you know what? Now he's here for all of you viewers out there to see what Doc can do for you guys out there.
I've been doing this for over 30 years professionally. I've worked in 4 different countries, and I've had over 45,000 clients. So the thing is, I've got the experience, and I don't let people fail because we're going to custom build a program for you, not for your problem. We're going to custom build that program for you to move you to where you want to be.
I'll tell you what, give him a call, just leave a message, and he can tell you how he can help you. And you know what? Here's what's really even better. He won't let you fail. From health and wellness, scrapbooking, to Medicare, you never know who's going to be on this show. We've had lots of great guests on today. Thanks for joining in. Maybe you have a business that you would like to talk about on this show. What's the one thing that you can do to grow your business? It's networking. It makes a difference. So tune in next week for more of Networking Arizona. Who knows who we're going to have on the show?